So have you anyone to take over the school and the whole educational thing when you go?
When we go,
or you shut it down?
we're hoping. No, I don't think we'll ever shut it down. But I think that we're training the people that are in there now, and we're subsidising them, and we're hoping that they will keep on.
Carry it on.
Carry it on.
And are there many pupils in the school?
We're 359 or 60.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
And what level are they at?
They're in first year, second year, third year, fourth year. It's high school.
High school.
High school.
Okay.
And we're still in the inner city, and we're there 145 years.
145.
And we expect to live forever there.
And is the inner city there, is it impoverished or is it...
No, the inner city right now has been improved so much in the last years. Right across from us is Minute Maid, which is our baseball field.
Okay.
And in fact, the baseball players wanted to meet them, and they had 4 nuns go down to meet them there last week.
Okay,
So
that was
they're
nice.
doing things together. Of course, I'm a great, I'm a great supporter of the Astros. I love them.
And are there many Irish people in the parish or in the county or the state or whatever?
Yes, there's some Irish.
Any immigrants going over there now, are there?
Oh yes, there are immigrants there, and some Irish and we have a few Irish. Well, we have an Irish priest. He's actually half Irish and half Chinese.
Okay.
And his father was his mother was Irish, and his father is Father Stephen Story. Very, very nice guy.
Well, when you went to America, was it a big cultural shock for you, to go from Kilmena to Texas?
Oh yes, it was very, very different, and I had a hard time. I had a hard time with the food. The most thing I had a hard time with was the food. I'd never seen squash. I'd never seen any of the things they had, and I remember they planned. I was in a group. Well, first of all, there was too much made of me, because I was the first one after 20 years.
Yeah.
So all the Irish sisters from the outer, the
periphery,
different convents we had. We had loads of convents at that time. We've only one now, but we had loads of convents, different schools. We were in different areas of the state and all that.
How many nuns did you have at peak in your order?
193. And they were coming in to see me, and that was kind of showing me off. And the Americans weren't so crazy about making a lot of me. And so I had a little bit of trouble with that. And then I wasn't eating. But my superior, this was of novices, who was the last to come from Ireland, said to me one day, she said, "Did you ever hear of mortification?" I said, "God help us," I said, "we're born and raised in mortification." And she said, "Well," she says, "you take a bit of everything tomorrow for dinner." So for dinner came, and all the dishes were passed to me, and I took a little bit of everything. And shocked them all, because they had put Sister Grace up to fill my plate and then to insist that I eat it all. So I fooled them, and needless to say, they had to leave me alone for a while.
So you come back home a good lot now?
I did.
Initially you didn't come home.
My people had to pay for me the first time. Well, the first time I came, Uncle Manus, before he died, told his wife that for my final profession, I got a message that Aunt Agnes and Uncle Manus were going to send me home. So that was and I thought it was a request to pray, so I prayed for it under the pall. The pall they put on, the 5 of us, they were made our final vows, and all it was telling me I had a ticket to Ireland.
And when you had got your final vows, were there any relations at it? Anyone from Ireland at it, or?
Yes, my final vows, Brendan. My brother Brendan came. Nuala would have come, but she got sick at that time. But he was down for my final vows. And I also did something else for my final vows that kind of shocked a lot of people. I had been teaching at St. Joseph's School, And at St. Joseph's School, there were an awful lot of Mexicans, okay? Some of our sisters objected very much to Mexicans. Well, there were 4 boys in the 8th grade, and they liked me, and they came and sang. I was in charge of the choir at St. Joseph's. They came every Sunday morning to sing for me and with me at the choir for St. Joseph's. That same 4 boys had to go and serve Mass at their church, which was just about a mile down the road.
Okay.
Their Mexican church. And when I was having my final vows, I said to the boys, I said, I want you both, all of you, to come to see my profession. So the mother of George Garza, who died just a couple of months ago at 108 years, drove the 4 boys. Well, you can imagine the stir it made in the convent when several of our Irish timers and other sisters were shocked to see 4 boys, and I treating them like they were equal to me.
And why didn't they like them?
Some of our sisters didn't like the Mexicans. I don't know why, because,
And was that in keeping with their faith?
Uh-huh.
Was that in keeping with their faith at the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just, well, they're a different breed, but I never had any trouble with them. I accepted people no matter what they were.
What they were, yeah.
I didn't
Tell me this, when you come back here every few years now, what do you think of Ireland now?
I think of Ireland as losing their faith. I kind of feel badly about that, and I'm praying for Ireland because I do think she has lost a lot. And what bothers me is Ireland losing their faith after bringing the faith to so many
places.
people in the world. So I'd be very shocked if they're going to lose it. And I was very, very upset when they passed the abortion law. That really hurt because I just couldn't imagine them.
And how about the country in general, like the housing and the state of the country in general? Like, it's a different place than when you left it, is it?
Oh yes, it is different. And
were there many people living in Camino when you left, when you were young?
Quite a few people, but all of the older people are dead.
They're gone now.
I know all the. When I went to school today, I knew all the grandparents.
Okay.
But I didn't. Some of the parents, but mostly grandparents.
And would you have an interest in Ireland now when you're over there? Would you watch the news and?
I pray for them, and well, I have a fella, and he's an Italian, and every time there's something going on in Ireland that he thinks I would like, he gets it off Facebook or whatever, and he mails it to me in a big envelope, and he'll keep me straight on that. So he's the one who kept me straight on when the election, when the thing on abortion was made, and then a lovely article on Our Lady of Knock.
Okay.
And the guy who died, he died in several years ago, and he was the 5-year-old when knocked.
One of the visionaries, yeah.
Huh?
You were the visionary.
And he was in New York, and he was put in an unknown grave, and the Cardinal of New York had him taken up and moved into St. Patrick's in New York this year.
Okay.
So that made a lot of, and as I said, Joe Montalbana keeps me posted on everything that goes on.
And in the convent now, are you allowed to take a drink and all that now?
You can do, yes, some of the sisters like their drink. I can't drink at all.
It might be a good thing.
I've taken
pledge.
I'll just give you no. Well, I have a pledge anyway, but regardless, that doesn't count in the convent. But the thing about it is, I once had a misfortune. We have bread and wine, precious blood. Okay, well, we were having a big mass, father-daughter mass on the 8th of December, when was it? Several years ago anyway. And I was in there because, I forget, oh yes, St. Teresa's relics were coming. St. Teresa the Lisieux relics were coming to town, and we were going to be driving there to see them. And I was asked to be communion minister. So I gave out communion with Archbishop Fiorenza, a very good friend of mine. And he's two years and 23 days younger than me, so I tell him he has to obey me. So we're a great joke.
You were the boss.
But anyway, I love him very much, and we're very good friends. But anyway, he and I were giving out communion in the front of the church, and everybody, of course, was coming for communion. But then there were two ladies giving out the precious blood, and when the Mass was over, there was a whole chalice of precious blood left over. And the lady in charge said to me, Sister Brendan, you'll have to help me because I couldn't possibly do this. I'm driving to thing. And I said, okay. I said, so I said, well, I'm driving too, so I can. But then I decided, well, I'll help her. So I took a good swallow of the precious blood. I barely made it to the back of the church. And Sister Bridget, thank God she was there for me. She says, sit down before you fall. So anyway, I got in beside her. Well, the bad thing about it is she had been principal of that school. So of course, a lot of people wanted to see her. So they were hugging her and everything. So of course, I had nobody to walk out of church with me. But I finally made my way out of church. And I grabbed this nun who has died since. And I said, please take me into the thing. And he said, I am drunk. And she, anyway.
It's your first time ever been drunk?
First, yes. And I was really, very, very weak. So anyway, I grabbed her by the arm and she took my arm and she brought me in and she says, you sit right here outside the principal's office and I'll bring you a cup of coffee and a donut and you take both of them and that'll help. So anyway, I sat there and along comes Jeremiah Toomey. Now Jeremiah Toomey is a doctor from Cork, County Cork, and he's there, and he was there for the father-daughter. It wasn't his daughter, but it was the daughter of the woman that worked for him, and he was there, and he comes over and says, hi, Sister Brendan, how are you? And he grabbed me to give me a big hug, and I said, Jeremiah, I am drunk. So he roared laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing he ever heard in his life. And he put me sitting down again. So I got the coffee and the donut. And by the time I was finished with that, I could drive to see the...
You sobered up.
I sobered up.
Tell me this...
But never again. I will never... So when I'm communion minister and I have the wine, if there's any leftover precious blood, I'll say, Father, finish it. So they all know.
They all know.
I can't handle it.
Tell me, did many of the sisters leave in your time now?
Yes, an awful lot of sisters. In the 60s and 70s, we have 100. I was in charge of the archives for quite a while, and the only place that really breaks my heart when I go in there, we have a drawer for the dead sisters. We have 3 drawers for them because we're there since 1873. So we're there in Texas a long time, and we have 3 things filled with dead sisters. Okay, and then you go out into our office and you pull out a drawer, and there's 154 sisters who left.
Who left? Yeah.
Now that's heartbreaking.
Did that upset you when they were leaving? You would have seen a lot of them leave, you would have.
Oh yes, I saw a lot of them leave, and it hurt me with some of them. Some of them didn't hurt me because I guess they didn't. Well, I don't know. I was very upset with most of them because, and especially three of the younger ones. They weren't finally professed, but they were, teaching at the school I was at. And I liked them very much, and I broke my heart to be telling them goodbye. But it's hard,
Did it ever make you doubt about?
No, but I did. I went after the superior ones because I thought she made it very easy for them. So I went into her office one day, and I said, Sister Joseph, I said, I feel very badly, and I'm going to just say this to you. I said, if I came in right now in a bad mood and said to you, I want to leave the convent, I said, I think all you do is pass me a piece of paper and say, sign. That's how easy you're making it for everybody.
And what did she say to that?
She was flabbergasted. But I did think that. I believed that at the time.
So you held firm all the time, you did?
Huh?
You held firm all the time,
Yes, held firm. When I did in the novitiate, I wrote a letter to Alice once. She never got it. And I told her I was going home, and she could tell my parents I was going home. It was my second year there, and I forget what had happened. I can't remember what happened, but whatever happened upset me an awful lot. And I wrote the letter, and I gave it to Sister Kevin, who was the one from Athenry.
Yeah.
That when I was asked what name would you like to be called, I told them 3 names: Brendan, Kevin, Kieran. And when she went in right after me, she didn't know anything. She didn't have a suggestion, so she took. They gave her Kevin, my second name. So Kevin and I were very good friends, and she up until about 2 years before she left, and she took my letter, and I never saw it again. And needless to say, she didn't mail it.
And what did you think of that?
I guess.
Were you annoyed?
I guess no. I guess I guess it was in a fit of depression or madness or whatever, and she saw through it.
So you were probably glad in the end, were you?
Yes.
You were,
Yes.
yeah.
I was glad.
Oh, that
But
was
later
good,
on, she and her 2 sisters lived at the same convent, and they weren't getting along with the rest of us, and I kind of felt badly, and they needed a car. They were the pastor of their church was giving them a hard time, and I knew him, and I called him, and I said, listen, they need more permissions to come into meetings and all that. And he paid attention to me, gave him a new car, and I forget what else he did. Well, you wouldn't believe, but 2 of them landed in my bedroom, and I had the flu. And with a flu, you're not feeling good.
Yeah.
And I was by myself in the convent at that time, in a small convent in St. Cecilia's. So I was lying there just feeling very sorry for myself and feeling rotten. And they came in and they laid me flat about saying anything to him. After them,
complaining,
suggesting that I was his friend and that I'd get what he wanted. And I never could understand that. But anyway, all 3 of them left the convent.
And what would the usual reason for leaving be at that time now?
I don't think, for them, I don't know, just being angry or something. But most of them left because a few of them left because they couldn't take the changes that came. We got very good changes.
Yeah.
And, it didn't bother me in the least.
You were able to take it, yeah?
Take it or leave it.
So you enjoy coming home?
Yes, I always enjoyed coming home. But my family had to pay the first times. So I told you about the first one, was Uncle Manus, and then after that, Alice, Hugh and Nuala paid for my trip home. And Hugh was the only one that could write a cheque. Alice bought a calf in February and sold it in October. That was her
every year?
1/3.
Well, every time you were coming?
1/3 the year I was coming. And then Nuala had a piggy bank. Yeah. So that's how they did it. And I thought it was very good of them because none of them could really afford that. And Hugh, I presume Hugh could. Then Hugh had to educate his children and all the rest of it. But anyway, they were very good to me.
So you're heading back in a couple of days again now, yeah?
I'm going on Thursday, I'm leaving to go to Dublin. And on Thursday. And then this guy from Mexico, who has been wanting to come to Ireland forever, comes into Ireland on Tuesday, and of course has been calling me, and I told him I'm not going there until Thursday, and I'll meet him there.
Well.
So, very nice. His wife was waiting to get a lung transplant in at the our MD Anderson Hospital in Houston, and she was in our parish, and I had to call for a while there. I had to call